do you worry that patients have unrealistic expectations about this treatment? What do you want to tell them?
Yes, I never promised to patient or proposed this as a definitive cure for MS. I simply state that this could be a factor that can be currently corrected by means of angioplasty, and this could be one of the more important factors, probably, we do not know. The neurologists agree that there is worsening and no treatment, and may ask to ethical committee to have a chance for compassionate treatment, because our secondary progressive and primary progressive people in our observational study have a good response in terms of quality of life. For these particular people with the neurologist state the decline and state that there are no possibility, he tried everything is known. It was unsuccessful treatment. We may ask to the ethical committee to give protection to this patient.
There's no point in going out into your neighborhood, whatever, and asking them to study your neck. I don't even think it's a procedure that'll get paid for in Canada, so they're going to have to go outside of Canada to do that. And then you got to be wary of the person who's interpreting them, because they may have an altered agenda. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are willing to capitalize on desperate people. And they arise immediately from the woodwork, and they're taking big amounts of money to do things for them. Patients are at their they have their full ability to go and seek treatments wherever they want to around the world. That's their right. Mm-hmm. I can't stop them from doing that, but for them to impose upon us, based on the current level of knowledge, that we should forego the usual routes of research and move right away to a treatment protocol and have the National Health Service pay for it, is a huge jump in the gun. I mean, all of these measures are put in place to be safe, to establish safety and establish efficacy. And I don't think we're willing to compromise on that.
So some of the improvements reported in the Italian group might be placebo?
Absolutely. In fact, I'm convinced of it. These are subjective things. You did something to someone and they feel good. But they went into that study because they wanted to feel good. They had belief. You believe strongly in something, you'll get better. And we see that 50% of the time. That's why to prove a treatment is truly effective, you have to go above that. And that's a tough one. So, the proper trial would be to do a sham procedure. Not done. That was never done. Pretend you're doing the angiogram, but don't do it.
Well, maybe you can do that in your next trial.
I don't think we're there yet. We have to prove the association first before I start putting things into people. Okay. But that's the way you properly do a study. You've got to convince yourself, with one arm tied behind your back, that there's no question that this treatment works. And then when you've done that, the whole world will benefit from it. Because everyone will be convinced, beyond a doubt, that the treatment is effective. And then we go to bat and go after the governments and go after the organizations who pay and insurance companies and say, look, you are denying a treatment that is truly effective.
CCSVI is an important pathway for discovery. It is preliminary, and we need to get to more definitive answers, but we remain true at the Society to the notion that our research avenues need to be manifold. So the CCSVI story doesn't mean that we are not pursuing stem cells, if you wish, as potential treatments for people with MS, or looking at other aspects of the research agenda. Genetics, very important. There's some very interesting research discoveries, even in the last year, for instance. So CCSVI adds a new lane on the highway, if you wish, and it's an entirely new one. And part of the exciting thing about the peer review and the review process of those grants is that for the first time, we've turned to vascular experts, to interventional radiologists to be part of that review process. That's new, and that I assure you will be a continuing part of our research programs. All of our competitions are open for CCSVI business.
I spoke to many scientists at neurological and MR associations. They listened to me, but they never gave any objections. I think the thing was too strange for them. And they were fixed to autoimmune dogmas. Mm-hmm. I would never have imagined that so many doctors might have so little interest in serious scientific work, in a clear logical reasoning for an idea, because we need a clear logical reasoning